But
When you see your parents and grandparents doing stuff, and you grow up thinking that's normal and natural, and then
yeah.
yeah,
So I always kind of mention this, that see, we use those words interchangeably, but they're not synonymous. Normal is not natural. What you see is normal, and normal is a result of conditioning. Normal refers to conditioning.
yeah.
And natural is actually referring to unconditioned. So it's this journey of self-discovery, of self-realization, whatever you want to call it. It's like a journey of from normal to natural, because your true nature is the most natural. Right? So it's from conditioned to unconditioned. And it's realizing your true nature is unconditional. It's that's what's prior to all the conditions. So all of these
It's like,
conditions are appearing in the unconditional.
yeah, it's like wild animals. They're so free, and then when you with pets, they get domesticated.
Yeah.
And then, you hear things like, oh, my dog had separation anxiety when I went on holiday. And I'm thinking, poor dog, because it's learnt that from the human.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between like wild animals and domesticated animals.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like their wildness is sort of tamed down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you more afraid of, a wild animal or a domesticated animal?
Um, what am I more scared of?
Yeah, it's not a trick question. I mean,
What, a domesticated one, I think.
you're more afraid of it?
Well, actually, no. If I were face to face, well, a wild one, yeah, a
Wild
wild,
one, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's you start noticing that when these conditions are just starting to kind of be let go of, and you just start seeing that there's kind of like some sort of transformation on the human level, but that's because it's being more of an expression of the unconditional. But you actually just start feeling like the human on the human level starts to be more of this expression of like wild. And and in a way it there's a lot of fear to the apparent others because of the how wild it is. But in a way, what you're seeing, what you're looking at is it's like it's almost like you're a domesticated dog looking at the wild version of yourself. Before all of that conditioning, you were just like this, wild, free. The
I've got
freedom
a
that
mug.
you're seeing is reminding you of before the conditioning. When you look at me, you see the freedom. You feel that freedom. But to someone who's very identified with the conditioning and very domesticated, that freedom, that wildness is terrifying to them. But to others who are ready for it,
Yeah,
it feels like, yeah, I want that. Like I feel that. It's something that feels so like it reminds them. It's like a remembrance. Because you're experiencing your true nature. You're experiencing that freedom.
yeah, because I feel it viscerally. I know that you're in another country, but I feel it viscerally, like talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
So just one question came up. So does that mean it causes problems in families? Like, say you're living in a house with elderly parents, or is it? I suppose that's what I'm asking.
It shakes
Would it
things.
cause?
It shakes things up on that level. It does. It's just part of the game, though.
But you can still play a role being aware of that.
Yeah. You're just being yourself. You're just being yourself, and whatever's happening is happening. I mean, I don't know.
Just
You join me for
some
like three calls now, and look how much stuff is like coming out of you. It's purging. That's kind of what happens. You start having some interaction, with this character, and that character starts purging. There's a lot of like what appeared to be like unconscious stuff that was buried. It just starts bubbling up.
So with people who are sort of, well, I don't like to use the word asleep, but or sleepwalking through life, who are on a journey, I mean, does it cause, I suppose what, because I wouldn't want to cause conflict. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Like with you, because you're open in your, there isn't this stickiness, this conflict, but with someone else, like say a relative, like someone you're related to, you, so you can't say, well, I don't want, like with a friend you can just part ways amicably, but with a relative, like say your father or your mother, for example, you can't just, you know, get rid of them. And not that I would want to, but I suppose the only thing I'm thinking is it going to cause tension and aggro?
No, I mean, like, there's gonna be changes. So there's undoubtedly going to be changes, but any sort of like feeling that it's sticky, that's always coming from an identification. That's always come, the me is what's sticky. Right. But what you actually are, it's what feels sticky is it's always personal. But when your true nature is impersonal. So when you're living as your true nature, nothing sticks, right? Just like I said about the sky, nothing sticking to the sky. It's just allowing everything to appear. So whatever's happening with the family dynamics that are experiencing some of that stuff, it's just happening. It's just allowed to be. Like there's a lot of like in my family, there's a lot of emotional purging that's happening right now, but it's just what's happening. It's just what's happening. There's 3 kids and a wife that are just a bunch of stuff is just coming up, and there's a lot of resistance to that. So it's like a different type of thing that's happening, but it's not like stressful or you're not like, there's no struggle, there's no stress in that. It's just
no conflict.
What it is. Yeah, there's the conflict. Yeah, there's no conflict because it's right. On level, it's you. That activity is you.
Okay.
The people on the screen are me.
Yeah.
So there's no conflict here. So that's what
I wouldn't want to go anywhere.
When you say that there's this openness that you experience, that's the openness of love, because there's the experiences that you are me. There's no separation. You're creating separation.
Yeah, it's just the appearance that is perceived as separate, but the essence isn't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't need to worry about, oh, I'm going to go home and then someone's going to say, oh, you've come here and you've created all this conflict and get blamed for stuff. No,
it's you'd be surprised. It's the only way is to experience it, right? Like the greatest test is life itself. So live as your true nature, live as that impersonal happiness, love, peace, freedom, open, accepting, allowing everyone to be free.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you see, and then see how that affects the apparent relationships. Go back home and see how that affects your parents. But don't have a story about it. Don't. Because that story, you'll start to basically experience that story. That you'll experience.
That's why I wanted to ask the question, because I know at Christmas time, people's tensions are amplified because everyone gets together around Christmas time. So patterns come up. So
but you just be that infinite container, that the whole gathering. Like, say you gather with 15 people, well, they're gathering in you. right? So you're that open space. You remain as the presence.
Mm. Yeah. And do no harm. That's coming to me.
Because they'll feel that presence.
Yeah.
That's what I said, is the greatest gift is actually being yourself. Just like you come on these calls and you notice it's easy to feel things, you have the clarity, you go, wow, there's something's happening here. I can't really put my finger on it. As there's more receptivity,
It's
it
yeah.
becomes undeniable that
It's because
you start saying like there's something magical that's happening on these calls. You don't know what it is, you can't
Mhm.
describe it. It's very mysterious, but it's undeniable that there's something that's happening.
Yeah, because it's open and it's a safe place to just be who I am without any masks or
Mhm.
filters. I'm not playing a role, which might happen when I go out and see someone because they expect me to be a certain way. So it's letting go of that whole persona. Like in the theatres here in England, they used to, before TVs came, they used to, when they were acting, they put a mask on in
Yeah.
front and then take it off and put another mask on. And that's what the separate self is.
Mhm. Yeah. And what I'm saying is just, can you just be without the mask, which is yourself, right? When you're not pretending to be something else, you're just being yourself. Pretending to
Yeah.
be something that you're not takes effort. Being yourself is effortless.
Yeah. So you can only become something you're not. You can't
Yeah.
become who you are because you
Yeah.
already
What are
are.
you before becoming?
I'm I'm this one. Well, the word being is coming to mind.
Yeah.
Being
Because the
before
being is
becoming.
prior to becoming.
Yeah.
So becoming is this game that we play. When you stop becoming, then you're just being.